We want to present with reviews the tennis books 1 on arsitektur. The arrangers by group 2. The first one Ahmad Miskat, Andi Adifa, Indira, Muhammad Aryandika, Muhammad Filamanugra, Nanda Kesha, and the last one Suharliana. Next. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good night. Greeting to all of us. Here we are group 2. We want to present the result of our discussion about the 10 book with reviews on arsitektur. The first presentator is Ahmad Miskat for the chapter 1.
Thank you for the opportunity. Here I will present chapter 1. The education of the architect. Number 1. The architect should be equipped with knowledge of many fields, study, and various kinds of learning. For it is by his judgment that all work done by the other arts is to put to the test. This knowledge is the shield of practice and theory. Number 2. In all matters, but particularly in architecture, there are these 2 points that thing signified and that which give it is the significance. That which signified is the subject of which we may be speaking, and that which give it significance is a demonstration on scientific principles. It appears then that one who professes himself an architect should be will first in both directions. Number 3. The reason for all these are as follows. An architect ought to be an educated man so as to leave a more lasting remembrance in his creators. Secondly, he must have knowledge of drawing so that he can readily make it to show the appearance of the work which he proposes. Geometry also is of my assistant architecture, and in particular it teaches us the rules and compasses by which especially we acquire readiness in making plans for building in the grounds and roughly apply the square level on the pamphlet. Number 4. Our knowledge of history requests, because among the ornamental parts of the architect design for our work, there are many the underlying idea of whose employment we should be able to explain to inquirers. Thank you for attention. I'll return into field up.
Thank you for the explanation. The next for chapter 2 is Suharliana.
Thank you for the opportunity. Here I will present chapter 2. Chapter 2, the fundamental principles of architecture. 1. Architecture depends on order, arrangement, eurythmy, symmetry, propriety, and economy. 2. Order gives due measure to the members of a work considered separately and symmetrical agreement to the proportion of the wall. What I mean is the selection of modulus from the members of the work itself and starting from the individual parts of these members will the wall job to fit. 3. Eurythmy is beauty and fitness in the adjustment of the members. This is found when the members of a work are of a height suited to their breadth, of a breadth suited to their length, and in a work when they all correspond symmetrically. 4. Symmetry is the exact agreement between the members of the work itself and the relationship between the different parts and the general overall scheme according to a particular part chosen as the standard. 5. Property is the perfection of style, the award with the fear based on agreed principles. Thank you for the opportunity that I gave. Maybe that's all I can say. I'll return it to fill them. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the explanation. The next one for the chapter 3 and 4, Nanda Kesha.
Thank you for the opportunity. Here I will present chapter 3 and 4. Chapter 3. The Department of Arsitektur. 1. Buildings in people are divided into two parts. The first, the construction of 45 cities and wards for public use in public place. And the second is the installation of structure for private individuals. 2. All of this is must be with reference to durability, comfort, and beauty. Next. Chapter 4. The set of ICT. For I-45 city, choose a very healthy location such as a plateau, not foggy or cool and in climate. There is neither hot nor cool, but far enough away and without marshy environment. For example, nothing doors light for icons. Linear from the south or the west, but rather from the north. For a quarter never changes, but is always constant and unchanging. 3, 4. If one of the comtesses element, it becomes dominant in one of the elements in the story and dissolve. All the unders with is underness. If they continue to consider in abnormal, they argue from this is the sepal and water found in such a place as choose a unhealthy for human, and because of the deity becomes here a main goal. Thank you for opportunity that I gave. Maybe the all I can say. I'll return with you till then. Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation. The next presenter is Andi Adifa for the chapter 5.
Thank you for the opportunity. Chapter 5. The city wells. 1. After ensuring on the test principles, the helpfulness of the future city, and selecting a neighborhood that can supply plenty of food, soup, and to maintain the community. 2. The tower must be projected beyond the line of well. 3. The thickness of the wheel should, in my opinion, be such that armed men meeting on top of it may pass one another without interference. 4. The tower should be set at intervals of not more than both apart, so that in case of also upon one of 10. 5. The top cellways must be self-round or polygonal. 6. The trump of the fence, however, in not quicker in all places. 7. And within this subscripture lay a ground foundation for a net instead the first to left problem from for closer line of battle of take position on the broad top of the ramp for its defense. The fashion. 8. The mission stand flint road or on broad beach as you team them. Thank you for the opportunity that I give. I turn it to fill them.
Thank you for the explanation. The next presenter is Muhammad Aryanika for chapter 6.
Thank you for the opportunity. opportunity that has been given from Fieldam. I here will present chapter 6. The city is portable is division of posts within the walls and the arrangement of street and alley taken into taken thematic condition. The will let out is forensic is used to exclude the wind from the ice list. Cold wind are efficient, hot wind weaken, then wind are unhealthy. Be closing from the dwelling, we will make the place healthy for healthy people, but also in case in illness my which might be could be under unfavorable circumstance elsewhere. Pattern will alter healthy place make the health by different from the medical hair will recover more quickly with the tenderness that comes from shooting up from the wind. Some argue that are only for winds. Solans from the east, excited from the south, Pavoneus of the west, Septenrio from the north. If a mountain is an rocky of Kiruf, who is shown to have built a marble octagonal tower in Athens. So Eros was placed in the southeast between Solanus and Auser. Africus in the southeast between Auster and Pavonis, Kosir or Asmanical in chorus between Paphorus and Septandrio and Apollo between Septandrio and Solanus. In the center of the city place a museum of marble, rising it according to its grade, or let in be made in such a way using rulers and reach the omniscience of needed. From these 2 points, draw with your compass interaction are drop their interaction and center draw line to circumference of the circle to give use the south and northward. Then using 16th part of the entry circumference of the circle as diameter, draw a circle with center and line to south. At the point where it intersects the circumference and place the point on right and left on circumference. According to this regulatory principle, application when force will be blocked from the willing and wrong of force, for in the street and street where will filled with wind there constant explosion coming from the country. Those who know the names of the money will may be surprised by your explore of only 8 given however as honest of Siren using mathematical theory and geometry method discovery and direction of the sun, the shadow cast by equinoctial phenomenon and the light of the sky. Then there is a light breast in the morning, for the sun is iris from the earth streak and damp return and reach to sky speed before expelling the wind from the system that was before down. There is from the only result that each wind can blow with expected region of the most remain, but with a fortune that is more or less broadly extended. How about turning the direction of the row of posts and rods from its full power? We can avoid an unhealthy explosion. Thank you. I return to Finland.
Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation. Now, I'm Muhammad Filamanugra. It's time for me to present the Chapter 7. Chapter 7, the sites for public buildings. 1. Having laid out the alleys and determined the street, we have next to treat of the choice of building sites for temples, the forum, and all other public places, with a few general convenience and utility. If the city is on the sea, we should host ground close to harbor as the place where the forum is to be built. But if in Highland, in the middle of the town, for the temples, the site for those of the gods, under whose particular protection the state is tucked to rest, and for Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva, should be one the very highest point commanding a view of the greater part of the city. Mercury should be in the forum, or, like Isis and Serapis, in the Oporium, Apollo and Father Bacchus near the theater, Hercules at the circus communities, which have no gymnasia, no amphitheaters, Mars outside the city but at the training ground, and so Venus, but at the harbor. It is more reference shown by Etruscan diviners in Theatis on their science that the fans of Venus, Vulcan, and Mars should be situated outside the walls, in the order that the young men and married women not become habituated in the city to the temptation incident to the worship of Venus, and that buildings may be free from the terror of the fire struck, the religions right and certified which call the power of Vulcan beyond the walls. As for Mars, when definitely and inside outside the walls, the citizen will never take up arms against each other, and he will defend the city from its enemies and save it from danger war. 2. Ceres also should be outside the city in a place to which people need never go except for the purpose certified. The places should be under the protection of religion, purity, and morals. Proper sites should be set apart for the presence of the other gods according to the nature of the certified often to them. The principle governing the actual construction of the temples and their symmetry I shall explain in my third and fourth books. In the second, I have tried it the best give an account of the material used the buildings with their good qualities and advantage. And then the succeeding book described to and explaining the proportion of buildings that arrangement and the difference from the symmetry. Next. Maybe that's all we can say. Maybe that's all we can say. Thank you very much. Your great attention. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. May all those we have share beneficial for all of us. Thank you so much for attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi